Following Israel's ban on Democratic Congresswomen Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib entering the country, with the pair holding a press conference overnight, slamming Israel, saying that Washington should stop handing out aid to the Jewish state, adding it's incompatible as a US ally. Omar and Tlaib were originally slated to visit Israel before US President Donald Trump pressured Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who then barred them access. Our senior Washington correspondent Dan Raviv has the latest on the deepening rift.
The two congresswomen said they were prevented by Israel from doing their job, going to Israel and Palestine, as they put it, to learn about conditions and see how American aid money is spent. Ilhan Omar, the Somali immigrant representing a district there in Minnesota, introduced Americans from that area who also said they'd been blocked by Israel when they had wanted to visit their families.
Netanyahu's decision to deny us entry might be unprecedented for members of Congress, but it is the policy of his government when it comes to Palestinians. This is the policy of his government when it comes to anyone who holds views that threaten the occupation, a policy that has been edged on and supported by Trump's administration.
Though they mentioned U.S. aid to Israel and condemned both the Israeli Prime Minister and the American president, they did not suggest any specific action they'd like Congress to take. Behind the scenes, there's talk of a House resolution that might criticize Israel's ambassador here in Washington, Ron Dermer, and/or the U.S. ambassador in Jerusalem, David Friedman, because they favored banning the trip by the two congresswomen. Rashida Tlaib, who represents a district in Michigan, did not offer any new reason for her refusal to go through Israel to visit her grandmother in the West Bank. At first on Friday, she agreed to say nothing about boycotting Israel, but then she said that Israel was oppressing her by setting conditions. At the news conference, Tlaib did say,
as my city's granddaughter, as the granddaughter of a woman who lives in occupied territories, to elevate her voice by exposing the truth the only way I know how.
From Israel's point of view, the news conference by the two congresswomen could have been a lot worse. As expected, they condemned what they call Israeli occupation, claiming that Palestinians are denied their proper rights. But there was no sign that they're going to get a lot of support from other members of Congress if they try to push for cutting American aid to Israel. But support for Israel in the Democratic Party may have been cut at least a little. Dan Raviv, I-24 News, Washington.